Good morning, happy fall. It is the best time of year, and it's honestly kind of surreal to be in October because this is kind of like the time of year I look forward to the most. So today, I am leaning into a cozy, spooky, Halloween-filled morning and taking you along for the journey. I actually wasn't going to vlog this weekend because I've been feeling, and maybe this is just like how everybody who's a Halloween lover feels this time of year, but like we're in the middle of October and I've just been feeling like I haven't been doing anything Halloween related. Like I haven't been making any progress on my fall goals, anything like that. So I was like, oh, like filming takes more time, and do I really want to like take that time out of my day, of my weekend that's so precious to me because work takes up so much of my life, to do the filming and the planning and all that stuff. And I was like, you know what, this actually could be a good opportunity for me to just like lean in a little bit more to the day, to the experience of just having like a hobby-filled morning. So although it takes more time and a different part of my brain is being worked when I'm filming my life, I think it helps me be a little bit more intentional about what I'm doing, and I think I take advantage of more opportunities and activities because it's kind of motivating that I get to kind of highlight and show these things on here with you all. And I think it's been a minute since I've actually had a hobby update and brought you into what I'm actually doing rather than what I plan to do this fall and this Halloween season. So let's dive right in. So this morning I've actually already got things going. I woke up a little bit earlier than normal because I wanted to just, really have as much time as possible this morning. I kicked things off by watching a few episodes of the Simpsons Treehouse of Horror, which is basically just their selection of Halloween episodes. And I've never seen them before, except the Raven episode, which is Homer experiencing like an Edgar Allan Poe retelling, which is so fun and very cozy. At the start of the month, my sister actually gifted me this Treehouse of Horror Halloween countdown box, which is exactly like how it sounds. And I haven't been the best at like keeping up with, taking out my treat from the little graveyard here on a daily basis. So on the weekends is kind of like where I make up for lost time. It's so adorable because you have like a little Springfield graveyard here up top, and then it kind of has like the little tombstones down here. It's super, super cute. And what's really fun is that what you get inside here are little figurines of characters that are referenced in the Treehouse of Horror episodes. And what's really fun for me is that I honestly don't have any understanding of what these little figurines are referencing. And so as I'm watching the episodes, getting further and further into the seasons that feature them, I'm learning, I'm like, oh, that's what that little thing is referencing. So today I pulled out a little Grim Reaper, and I have no clue what that means. I haven't watched the episode yet that relates to that. But yeah, they're really fun. I think my favorite is the little aliens. The little aliens show up in many episodes. They're kind of like reoccurring characters within the Treehouse of Horror series. And speaking of spooky animated shows that I've been watching this fall, just quickly here, I'll mention that I did finish the first season of Haunted Hotel, which is on Netflix. And I really enjoyed this one. Not like a 5-star for me. Like there's been spooky animated shows I think I've loved more, but yes, really good. It's not something you would probably want a child to be watching with you. There are some jokes that may or may not go over their heads, but like some inappropriate stuff is definitely being referenced, of like, I think a sexual nature for sure. And I think I would have wanted a little bit more of like a season-long narrative arc, because we kind of get to the end of the season and we have something that apparently has been building up, but I just don't feel like that story in the last episode was really fully fleshed out throughout all 10 episodes in the first season. So maybe with the next season, I know that they're going to be releasing, it'll be a little bit more cohesive now that they know that there's, I think, a pretty substantial audience who really enjoys this show. But the humor is there, the ensemble cast of characters who haunt this big hotel is there. Like, it's fun to kind of get their backstories. And I do connect with the family, that's the main cast here. But yeah, I think I would want a little bit more of an emotional connection to them. And now is the most exciting thing I'm gonna get to all weekend, and that is finishing my little candy corn Wooble, which is named Maisie, which I didn't realize it, but my husband was like, oh, it's referencing like corn, maize. And the reason why I've been having such a great time with this is my second Wooble. And the first time was, It was a journey. My first Wooble was Tank the Shark, which I don't think was the best choice for me as somebody who's literally never picked up a crochet needle in their life. And I didn't realize it when I purchased him, but it was like a beginner plus, which is different than like they're just regular beginner level kits. So I think that was like my first wrong move. So I left that experience when I finished it. Like it wasn't like that bad, but I feel like it could have been better. And I just felt so like, I just felt lost throughout the majority of the experience of creating it. It took me months, whereas this kit is taking me far less. Like I'm in the last few stages and I started this at the beginning of this week. And it's not like this candy corn is any easier than the shark. I mean, the shark did have extra parts that you were like kind of adding on to it, but that's like kind of the only difference. When I finished my shark, I just felt like, oh, this Wooble kit isn't for me. Like I need beginner, like what is before a beginner, like that's what I need. So I was like, oh, like should I pick these up again? And so then I explored other kind of crochet class options that I had available to me online because nothing was really available in person, which I definitely tried to find. And so I did do a little bit of like crocheting on my own through this guided class I was able to access for free through my library. I didn't really like stick with that for too long, but I did get to practice a little bit and kind of hear from another instructor how to go about beginning my crochet journey. So then when I saw that they released this and then like a little ghosty to crochet as a kit for a beginner, I was like, okay, yeah, let's like try this again one more time. And I do think the practice with the shark and having kind of like my own experience, like practicing with that other online class really set me up to be far more competent and more confident when I started this candy corn. I'm not kidding or exaggerating when I say this. Like I look at this and I'm like, how? Like I did this? Like I can't believe I did this. And it's such a different experience making this candy corn than when I was making the shark. Like yeah, that took me so much time. I was not having fun. I just wanted to complete it to get the experience, you know, ticked off. And this is just, I don't know, it's cool because I could like actually watch like a movie. I was watching QB Halloween a few nights ago and doing like the color change. Like I'm just feeling so confident and it just feels so good. And this is what I wanted when I first purchased a Woobles kit. Like I wanted it to be as straightforward as people were talking about it being for them online. So it feels really gratifying and it is time for me to put the last finishing touches on this little cutie pie. It's time to add the little like buttons for the eyeballs and the little face and sew her up, stuff her with some cotton to make her nice and plump. And completing it, I think, yes, just would be so exciting and so gratifying. So it's time to put the finishing touches on my little candy corn. Look at her. She's perfect. Okay, she isn't like actually perfect. Like I'm pretty sure there's lots of room for growth when it comes to my stuffing technique, which is harder than you'd think. But damn, this looks so close to what the goal was on the packaging. I'm just astounded and I'm so excited that finally I feel like there's some hope for me and crochet. The keychain and the fluffy part over here are not part of the actual Woobles kit that it came with. Shout out to Thomas for busting out his pliers and for helping me Frankenstein all of these little pieces from other keychains we have. When it comes to me and my hobbies, it's always more than just the hobby. Like, it means more. It means like I am capable of learning new things. It means I, have time and space to do things that are silly and are just purely for joy for myself. Having successfully made this candy corn keychain is just like highlight of spooky season 2025 for sure, because I really didn't think I had it in me, and I do. I need to ride this momentum wave and just keep my Woobles projects going, because I finished my first one in several months, and then I did this one in a week. Like, there's just no stopping me. I could see myself, creating blankets and bags and sweaters in the coming years. So hopefully that comes to fruition, because it would just be so lovely to do that. Oh my God, I'm like obsessed. I can't stop looking at it. But I wanted to move forward because I feel like that took me far more time than I thought it was gonna be. I'm freaking out a little bit because me and time, like, we have a weird relationship. It just, scarcity all the time. What I think will make this Saturday morning even more spooky is doing a little bit of baking and mixing up of a little fall mocktail. Things I just really don't have the energy or motivation to do during the work week. So I have never ever made sugar cookies that have the chocolate chip dough underneath. I'm like, okay, it's time. This is the year. I see everybody and their mom do this recipe. I have no clue how to do it, or if I purchase the correct chocolate chip cookie dough. Might be too thin, but we'll see. And then I wanted to try my hand at a fall mocktail that seems really straightforward to put together, super refreshing. So if I feel like I can master it today, it feels like a recipe that's really easy and quick for me to mix up during the week, which is great because I don't really care for consuming too much alcohol during the week with like headaches and all that stuff. It brings me down. So I'll make my cookies, I'll mix up a little witch's brew, and enjoy the early part of the afternoon, cozied up with my recent read, which has been such a great experience to read so far. So let's hop into the kitchen. The cookies are in the oven, and for all I know, these are going to turn out to be a total flop because I've never done them before, and I just don't know if the chocolate chip cookie dough I purchased is going to be substantial enough to hold up the Halloween sugar cookie. But we only have about 7 minutes and we will find out. We will hope for the best. That's what we'll do. And we will get ready to make our non-alcoholic apple cider sangria from the Mindful Mocktail. So this is really fun. It includes apple, it includes ginger beer, there's also pear, cinnamon. Okay, the first thing to do is to prepare my fruit. So I need to find my apples and my pears and then add everything else. I'm all cozied up on my couch, which is probably my favorite spot in my whole home. I have my Halloween cookies, my spooky fall sangria, as well as my current fall read, which I've been really enjoying. The cookies were a success. For a moment there, I thought that it was going to be a flop. Like there was something I was missing because they hadn't cooled down yet, and they're very different when they're baking than when they cool down. Like big differences there. And also I realized that because I had layered the cookies, I think you had
to keep them in the oven longer than what the packaging had said. So just keep that in mind if you've never done this before and you're thinking of doing it in the future. I was so concerned that I was like gonna overbake them, but they came out really, really good. And something we tried, which was Thomas's idea, brilliant. We added some pumpkin sauce on top of it. And so I have that on one of them. It is really, really good. Very decadent. So like a little bit goes a long way, but you have to try it if you love pumpkin flavor.
I've been so obsessed with apple cider this entire season. And, you know, adding it into this is really delicious. I think it'll get even better the more that it sits in the pitcher, which I filled up with more apple cider right now. So I think later on tonight, I'm going to add a little bit of champagne, or specifically like sparkling wine. I have little baby bottles of sparkling wine, so I think I'll just enjoy a little bit, see what this tastes like with a little bit of alcoholic bubbly. But yes, really happy I got to bust out my new Halloween candy corn glassware that I got at Crate & Barrel. What I'm really looking forward to doing for the rest of my afternoon is popping back into Rachel Harrison's newest release, Play Nice, which is essentially a like demonic possession haunted house story. I'm currently at the 50% mark, and I'm actually shocked because I started this book like 2 nights ago and I just like flew through it the first night. I got to like 20%. There's really no stopping me when it comes to a Rachel Harrison book. Just the way that she writes, it's so readable, whether it's an audiobook or a physical. It's actually astounding how quickly I read her books. My favorite of hers is actually the first one I've ever read, The Return. Loved it for its friendship themes, exactly what I needed at that moment in my life. Her last few releases, sadly, have really not been connecting with me, which is kind of sad. Like I appreciate them, but there hasn't been that moment where I was like, ooh, that's me. Like I see myself in this plot or this character. This one, it's interesting because I don't necessarily connect with having so much family drama. Like the ways my childhood went down is so different than hers, like even excluding the demonic like haunted house stuff. Just their family dynamic and, you know, having like divorced parents, all that, like I really can't relate. However, the parts I connect is her relationship to men because of her childhood and, you know, having a hard time like remembering your childhood. I don't know if that's like a normal thing, but I like don't have a super clear memory of like growing up. Like a lot of things like super spotty. I started off actually really not enjoying our main character for like maybe the first few chapters. And then I just really started to appreciate how Rachel Harrison wrote her. I feel like there's a lot of depth and complexity and tons of humor. Like I almost like verbally laughed at a few lines. And that's like hard for me to do because I know this isn't like supposed to be comedic. It's horror. Needless to say, I'm having a really great time with it. And there are some scenes towards the end of this 50% mark where I'm like, dang, we're getting scary in here. Like probably the only Rachel Harrison book to have a creep factor to them. Let me know if you've read this one yet. I know it's pretty hyped up right now. Let me know your thoughts, whether you liked it or didn't. I'm all ears. I really wanted to get to this one as soon as possible because this is actually the first book pick in my spooky book club in my local area. So it's like all in person. So in a few months, we're gonna meet up and talk about this. We already had one meetup at a bar for their Halloween pop-up, which was really fun to finally meet these girls face to face. So I'm really looking forward to chatting more about this with them. But first I have to finish it, right? So me and my sangria and my cookies, we have a date with Miss Rachel Harrison over here. Let me know what you've been enjoying this Halloween season. Have you been, you know, getting up to some crafts, watching some really great movies, reading some awesome books? Let me know. I hope work and adulting isn't bringing you down too hard because like, whoo, a few weeks ago, I was really, really struggling, but I think I'm on the up and up at this point. But you know, it's all a roller coaster. So yeah, what comes up must come down, all that jazz. You know, earlier this morning, I was talking about how I felt like I haven't gotten anything done this season to celebrate Halloween. And I know that's not true. The real problem is a major part of me wishes that October would never end, that it would just like exist forever, eternally October. Doesn't that sound like amazing? Or at least that's like what I think initially. And then it dawned on me, like, if I experience Halloween every day, where would the magic lie? Like, for something to be amazing, it means that there are other things that aren't, and like that contrast is what allows the good to be good. So there's another more wise part of me that knows that the fleeting nature of time is a very special and magical thing that like I fear, but also I revere. I know that rhymes, but like it's true. There's a certain kind of magic to knowing that like the good things will end at some point. Whether it's enjoying the Halloween season or the precious time we have with loved ones, all we can truly do is just like savor the present moment and just like be there, like soak it all in. So that's really where my heart and mind is at, just like trying to be so present. And sometimes it's hard when I film my life, like it really does take you out of it in a really strange way. And so I'm just trying to figure out like, where's the middle ground in that, you know? So wherever you find yourself this fall in the season of your life, I really do hope you and I can both find joy where and when we can. I'll see you on my next video. Bye.